you chat.
And a Happy New Year.
I chat, you chat, we all chat in the you chat. I hope last year was great for you. The first topic of 2020 is that
A robot ran for mayor in Japan.
for mayor.
Yes. And got 4,000 votes.
What?
How do you feel about AI taking over our world?
It's not true.
I'll tell you really.
I don't think it's true because I haven't seen it on
Yeah.
any of the news channels or anything. I never even knew that Japan had an election.
It's not president. It ran from the mayor of a certain city. The government was trying to see how, or the company that designed this robot was trying to see how people would react if a robot ran for mayor.
What? This is a step closer to the end.
Yes.
I think it's good.
What's your
I
problem?
knew it. You were always on the side of the robots.
Yeah, and I bet when they come, they'll be like,
No, I tell you why, because it's good to see changes in the world. Not
but
only
some
human beings.
changes, there are many different kinds. Some changes are good, some changes are bad.
Yeah, so it's good to try out. If it's bad,
Yeah, but
don't do
if-
it.
So
Let it become
you
aware.
are willing to put people's lives in danger because of change,
But it's good to experiment, like to
No,
experiment.
but you're willing to put people's lives in
I didn't
danger
say that.
for change.
I didn't say that.
No, well you did say that.
But
Didn't
it's
she
not.
say that? Didn't she say that?
But how would you
But
feel
my
if
fellow
robots
classmates,
took
are you
human
willing to
jobs?
put your hand, your life, your
Like my co-host here said,
Ah.
how do you feel that robots are beginning to take human jobs? Where these jobs that were going to humans, they're being taken by robots. So what will humans do? What
I
will they
understand.
move to?
Yes, I understand. If they move it to a bad world, then human beings can take over.
How?
You see,
Did you guys watch
The
the
way
movie
they
Charlie and the
created
Chocolate
it.
Factory? How Charlie Bucket's dad was replaced by a machine? Machines will make people lose their jobs.
How sure are you about
Poverty,
that?
because it happens.
When
Machines
the robots take
smarter
over
and
something,
more capable than human
when
beings.
robots take over something, then human beings create other things. That's what I believe.
And
There's
the
something
person
more.
who created the robot can turn it off.
Exactly.
But I am kind of against this robot thing because recently Japan has been advancing so much. Like I heard that they've been growing organs. I don't even know what that means. But soon enough they're gonna stop believing in God and we're gonna make everyone else stop believing in God, which is not a good thing. Because then, like my fellow members of the chat here said, the humans will start taking over. Robots will start taking over humans, and soon enough we will not be able to turn the robots off at all.
Exactly.
You
And then
want-
soon the human
People-
race will be extinct, and then the world will come to an end because there will be no one to fix the robots.
But how about
Science-
you
science-
think it in a
how-
positive way,
Then
not
how
a negative way?
How do you feel about scientists continually developing new robots? Some of them having feelings, some of them being able to think for themselves. How do you think that will affect the future? How do you think that if these robots get smart enough to start to develop themselves, make themselves, how do you think that it will affect the future? What if humans can't turn the robots off anymore?
I understand, but humans are better than
But
robots.
you
which
want
means they can
slavery
create-
to come back?
Well, we can
You
slave the
become
robots,
slaves of the
But we
robots.
can't
No, it
control
can't
what they
happen.
do.
People said
Have
the
you ever
same
heard the
thing.
expression, we might, well this is a bad, okay,
Yeah.
this is something not related to, like,
Again.
if I give birth to you, I don't own you. I don't own what you're capable of. So I can choose to make the robot, but I don't know what they're capable of. They can turn against me and kill me in my own house.
Yeah, you're thinking it in a negative way.
My
How about in a
fellow-
positive
My
way?
fellow,
There is no
Well,
positivity in
yes,
robots
there
because we
is
don't know what they're
positive.
capable of.
Exactly, that's the reason why it's
But-
good to try.
So you're willing to
Think
put people's lives in danger
No, not
because
trying
of
to put-
trying.
Well, everything starts by then.
well, I think people said the same thing when they created the phones, and now today humans are literally slaves of phones because they're being controlled by something that has no brain, nothing. It's just controlling them into wasting their time. Robots could do the same thing.
I understand, but phones also have an advantage, right?
Though we should look at this in both ways.
Yeah.
People are, yes, robots have advanced our life so far to the point that robots are doing better surgeries than doctors ever could. More people are surviving, but we have to look towards the future as well, and how these same robots could affect the future, because scientists are beginning to develop robots with human feelings. And then the minute a robot begins to have feelings, it becomes a sentient being, a being that has feelings, a being that can feel. And then once that happens, we can't enslave robots because now we're humans and they also have feelings. So how will we be able to? It would be like killing them.
We have to think of our future. We have to think of the future of us human beings. If we continue these nasty technologies, what if our lives are put in danger because of something someone did? Haven't you ever watched zombie movies or something, or alien
What
movies?
if our life changed into a better world?
I think
It will never change because
How are
everything
you
is
sure about
plastic.
that?
Haven't you ever watched Dr. Seuss? Guys, literally, they turned the world in so much technology they forgot about the natural world. Are you seeing? Are
Yeah,
you
that's a different thing. What if it
No,
changed?
Our Earth will end up being a place for only robots because the more
Yeah.
pollution will just keep on becoming more and more.
Yes,
Our
I
nature will
understand.
will lose
If
oxygen
human
and die.
beings,
Yeah.
if human beings are able to create robots, then they can create something bigger, which
You
can
can create
survive.
oxygen.
Yeah.
If in future, yes, of course.
No, we
I
can't
future
create
you
it
can
scientifically.
Yes, you
impossible.
can.
No.
Yes, you
I
can.
I think
Don't
my
you go back.
my fellow host here said my
Yeah.
host said raised a good point. Robots will be good at it to a certain point, but in the movie, but it might change. At some point, it will change and become evil, but then it will change again and become good, like in the movie. Like in the movie, I Robot. The robots were becoming so helpful. They were taking over the world slowly by slowly. They became so helpful, and then suddenly something changed and they became evil. But for a good couple of years, the robots were really helpful. They were advancing the world, but after a few years, they became evil.
Yes,
Well, talking about death, destruction, and people doing good stuff, we shall move on to another topic, because debating about robots will not save the future. Please.
Can I say one
How
more
do
thing?
you know?
Can I say
Are
one
you
more
some
thing?
sort of?
Can I say
Is it
one more
science?
thing?
Yes.
As they say, too much of something becomes bad. Think about it.
Yes.
But the
That
point
is
is,
the
the
fact.
point is in this argument, too much of something is bad. Just like if you eat too much spinach, you can actually die because you're eating too much spinach, for example. But the thing is, if you don't eat enough spinach, you can still die. So what the point we're making here is that we shouldn't put robots to the extent that they're taking over the world, but they should not disappear completely.
Yeah.
Anyway, talking about death, destruction, and people doing good stuff, has any of you heard about the wildfires in Australia?
No. Yes.
Australia has been burning more than even the Amazon was burning. It has burned almost 3 times the amount that the Amazon has burned, killing hundreds, millions of koala bears, putting them in danger.
I knew Australia had something to do with it. It's global. It's because of you people polluting. Yeah.
And celebrities have been donating money, like Chris Hemsworth donated a good amount of money
Really?
to help fight Australian wildfires, so I salute him.
Woo! Yes, that guy's a
But all the world has to help, not only you.
Yeah, but some celebrities actually are not thinking
Did you
about
hear
this.
that? Did you hear that Leonardo DiCaprio actually donated money to the Amazon rainforest and it was like completely declined? So I think it's a good thing
Yeah, because
that Chris
the people who have
Hemsworth took
the
his
power-
time because Thor is the best.
But the people who have the power are actually not donating money, because I know celebrities who have a lot of money and they're doing nothing but
Yes.
nonsense with it. So I think
But
it's a good
Chris
cause.
Hemsworth, you know what? I'm trying my best to believe this guy, but what if he's actually doing it because he wants more media attention, or what if he's actually doing it because he wants to save people?
Whatever,
We don't
he still
know.
gave the money.
Yes, he still gave the money, but still, we don't know if it was one-hearted or he actually regretted giving his money out.
Yeah,
We
but
don't
it's
know.
terrible that the fires have started even worse than the Amazons. It's just more global warming stuff.
Did people die?
Because
Yes, people have died, but it's more of been a thing for the animals in the forest. It's been
It's so sad. You know? I don't
snakes
care
and not kangaroos, because kangaroos are dead, but just other animals. That-
It's
Well,
so sad. Sure, continue.
if you think about it, the Australia is actually quite smaller than the Amazon, and if it's burning 3 times more than what the Amazon was burning, then how will Australia come to an end?
No, Australia is not smaller than the Amazon. The Amazon, Australia is actually a pretty big country. So it's not that Australia is coming to the end because there are safer places. Just that there is there are big forests in there that are leading into other forests. That's how it's burning.
What's the cause of this burning?
Just
Climate change, global warming,
Thunder, lightning,
just the earth. Just how things are going.
sun. I knew that.
and they're surrounded by water.
The koala bears are dying. I knew it was a bad idea leaving them in Australia. Should have brought them.
That's their
And also
home.
Australian people are saving koala bears and keeping them in shelters.
Random Australian bikers will save the koalas. They'll feed them. They'll give them water to drink in the fires because that's the best they can do to help young Earth.
I would want to be part of that.
Yeah,
too.
I would love to go to Australia and help koala bears, but unfortunately,
Not all of us can afford it.
yeah, some of us can't even afford to go to.
People have been lashing back at the Australian Prime Minister, and they literally chased him away from the fire zone. He went to the place where it was really burning really seriously, and the Australian people literally chased him away, saying that he was the cause of the fires, calling him racist things, and telling him that everything he was doing was wrong. So there's been a lot of hatred towards the Australian Prime Minister because of these fires by people, because many Australians who had jobs and who have been doing jobs have gone into the Australian Fire Force to help protect the forests. But many people have been lashing back at this Australian Prime Minister, blaming him for the fire.
That's so sad. It's not like he went got a matchbox and lit up the whole the whole forest. You shouldn't blame someone.
But
They I would love to hear what you have to say, fellow colleague.
If it's a wildfire, it's not necessarily his fault. It could have been caused by heat or
Yeah,
lightning or anything. So I don't think it's right for these Australians to be blaming the Prime
Maybe
Minister.
some of us didn't go to school or anything.
How do you feel if they don't feel like the Prime Minister is actually doing contribution? They're saying that they have foreigners who are contributing millions of dollars to these fires. They feel like the Prime Minister isn't doing enough. So how do you?
But who are they to decide who does it and who doesn't?
They're the ones who voted him in power in the first place. Hello.
That's very true.
Yeah, exactly. So
The fires have gone to such an extent that natural conflicts are merging. You guys all know about tornadoes, and you also know about wildfires, like what we're talking about. In Australia, for the first time documented, there are firenadoes. That's how bad climate change has gotten. There's literally spinning things of fire like tornadoes, but they're made of fire. This is how bad climate change is getting.
So it doesn't win too?
No, just spinning fire.
I remember watching this movie. Okay, it's more of a documentary on Nat Geo Geographic about Australia and how if you put a frying pan outside on the cement, you can actually fry eggs because of the extreme heat there. So they shouldn't be blaming the Prime Minister for it. He didn't go get a vacuum cleaner and apparently magically put fire into this NATO thing and started spitting everywhere. So he might not be the cause of this problem, though we don't know. But it's still not good to judge without proof.
I
You know,
agree.
And even if you do have the proof, why would you still judge? Because,
Yeah.
like, put yourself in his shoes. you
He's
know?
powerful. He can kill you and do whatever he wants, and he doesn't have to go to prison.
Let's
What?
not go in that zone.
Still.
We don't want the Australian police force to come after us.
For the next topic, we have another conflict, but this one is between two countries.
Donald Trump killed Iran's army general, and then Iran burnt their flag.
The American flag, they're kissing
They burnt their flag, and then the U.S. sent troops to Iran to say that they were going to pay.
So
That is a bad
Donald.
idea.
it's funny to laugh,
But
of
it's really
course,
scary.
but this is a serious issue, a major issue.
Did he physically kill him, or he sent troops? to
No,
kill
but this guy was one of the leading generals in Iran, and they shot him. Not Donald Trump. Donald Trump can't. I bet Donald Trump can't even fire a gun.
Maybe they like pay someone to.
Yeah, no, the army
Assassination.
shot him. Not an assassination.
BT
The army
Donald.
shot him.
BTW Donald.
Public.
I have no problems with you.
Okay, you guys, I'm having a really rough time thinking about this because Donald Trump has made some really bad choices. We can all agree to that.
Yeah.
True.
Like,
And plus, it's not a good idea doing these things because it will lead to World War III.
And we do not want that.
yeah, we do not want to be in a world where
Worst
we're
of
living
all,
in slums and
They
stuff.
have been like I'm having a feeling that if Donald Trump keeps this up, the U.S. is going to suffer a lot because like all his bad choices are just
Well,
going.
apparently, people should not be complaining in America because you voted for the guy. You know, I don't have beef with you, that one, no problem. But still, what I'm saying is a fact. Isn't it a fact? Look, yes, he chose to do wrong. It's him. It's not like the people are telling him, go kill the guy, go do this, go do that, go say this, that. It's his fault. And the people of Iran or other people he has conflict with, like in China or Korea or other places, they should not be blaming the people in America. They should be blaming the person who actually calls the shots in America, not the people. The people are innocent.
They're not blaming the people in America, but they voted for him. So
No.
it was their choice.
That is very true, but we should all agree that even though he was voted into power, there were two options. Maybe who knows what Hillary Clinton would have done?
Yeah.
She might have done something just as bad as him. It's not likely, but it's possible. Now, yes, to an extent, you blame Donald Trump. I mean, you blame the people in America for voting for Donald Trump. But you also have to remember that once they voted for him, it's not them who go and tell him to do these things he's doing. He does them on his own accord and with his own brain. No one is telling him to go and do this stuff. So yes, you blame the people. You also blame the person himself. Because it's not one person's fault. This is a fault of everybody.
But I guess
Except the fault of people who
I think
didn't
thinking
vote.
that maybe that I don't know if I should say this, but thinking that maybe they could have voted for Hillary Clinton, maybe she could have done worse, but we never know since she wasn't voted for. But next time, make better choices, America. That's my answer.
Guys, just make up. I don't want war in at least if you have war, don't include Africa. We're good people.
Yes,
That we also have to remember that both Iraq and the US have nuclear weapons, and if they did begin to fight, it would become a conflict with not just Iraq and the US. It would become a conflict everywhere because people would have to join into each other so that they would protect each other from these problems. Iraq actually shot down a plane with people from Iraq, but they were Canadian. They had Canadian heritage because they were so ready for war. This plane got into close proximity and they shot it down and killed about 400 people because it was an accident, but this is how close to war the US and Iraq were.
Iraq, but that
Iraq.
was Iraq.
Yeah, this is Iraq.
Okay.
What? That's so like. Isn't it if you shoot down a plane that has different different countries and different heritages, is that place supposed to consider warring to Iraq, or isn't Canada supposed to
Well,
consider
but
war?
the point is that it wasn't on purpose. They weren't like, okay, this plane is we know this plane has 400 people in it, we're going to shoot it down. They thought it was an American plane coming to do like bombing and stuff because the Americans had already bombed Iraq. After the army general came, they had bombed Iraq. again, not with a nuclear bomb, just with a bomb. And so Iraq thought that that this was another plane coming to bomb.
Look, my colleague has something to say.
Awkward.
Okay, anyway, we'll come back to
Talking about
sure, sis.
talking about president, there's been a lot of presidential issues in Brazil.
Ah, ooh la la. I love Brazil.
Brazil is known for
Rio.
its parties and its craziness,
Oh,
but
I love it.
it's becoming crazy to a new level, as in Donald Trump crazy. There's the president of Brazil, Juan Guaido, was elected by a number of people. And now there's a new person who was also elected by a number of people who believes that he should be the president. Juan Guaido, the president, is not actually a very good person. He's been doing a lot of bad stuff. But he locked the other president out of a meeting. He locked him out of the office while they were doing an assembly because they were both supposed to be there. And he literally locked the gate on him. And there was a rally, there was a big group of people outside the gate. And the other president literally tried to climb over the gate to get into the assembly room. This is how crazy it's getting
How
in
does
Brazil.
Donald Trump have to do with any of this?
I'm just saying that it's getting crazy like Donald Trump. Crazy.
Look, what? Isn't the Brazilian president the same man who refused Leonardo DiCaprio's offer? Is he the same guy?
I am not sure, probably though.
Yeah, probably.
So so basically this guy was actually trying to climb the gate to get over to the other side. He didn't manage to because there are security guards on the other side who said they were gonna shoot him, but he tried. He was actually being held up by his supporters and trying to climb the gate.
Like, how short is the gate that supporters could, like...
It's not like an extremely tall gate, it's just a gate. So how do you feel about grown men and women, leaders of a country, acting this way?
I just feel bad for all those Brazilians.
You know what? I'm happy for the guy that he actually tried to climb the gate. He tried his best because
It is bad.
Do you think the world is getting corrupted?
Yeah, like, the world is not, I don't see it going into a better road.
yeah, I know.
Because, like, all these things have, like, you can have hope, but then at some point you have just to come and smell the caramel macchiato and say,
Not everything is about food,
Right.
man.
it's an expression. You
Yes,
get?
but people are teaching kids in school to behave well and to do this kind of stuff. But how are they supposed to learn anything if they're seeing their own leaders of countries, of people, doing things like this? How are they supposed to react? How are we supposed to react?
We're supposed to be angry because we don't even do that. Let me make a better example. No. Third graders don't even do that stuff. And they're kids, you know? So I don't understand why.
What made me a bit
Yeah.
interested is why would you close the gate for it? Who knows if you will get voted?
It's because he's already voted and the other guys also voted. So he closed the gate because he doesn't want the person to be knowing what's happening. So if the other guy doesn't know what's happening, he can't be the president. He has to leave because if he doesn't know what's happening in his own country, how will he be the president? He has to leave. So anyway, we will come back to the U-Chat after the break. Welcome back from the break. And to end our whatever episode of this U-Chat, we would like to have a happy note since all the other topics have been sad. What do you think the highlights of last year have been? It can be world news, it can be in your own life. We just need some highlights, some happy stuff.
When Aladdin came out.
Oh! And Frozen too.
Oh, that was great as well.
Maleficent.
But the sad notes are Cameron Boyce died.
Guys,
Rest
God,
in peace.
rest in peace, man. Wherever you
But
are.
Justin Trudeau came up with a new look this year, so I guess you can celebrate his
Yeah,
past.
and he also dressed up as Aladdin. Laden, which is pretty.
No, they just brought up a picture from when he did.
He did 20 years
He
ago.
wore what? Was it
21.
brown face?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He painted
Bad move, Justin
Yeah.
Bieber.
I watched a lot of movies.
Yeah,
Was that the high note?
That's cool.
Wow,
Cool.
Wow.
we also have to.
Whoa, girl, that's cool. What type of movies, yo? And my favorite part was when Cardi B said this. She was like, she was on a red carpet, and then she was like,
Why don't you stand up and show us how she did it?
really?
Yeah.
You would really like it?
Yeah,
sure. So she was like, thank you guys for this award. And for all my haters who download my music and talk bad stuff about my name, look on the bright side, it benefits me. You get it? Because when you guys are so bad. Because they download her music and she gets more money.
I'm
And they
so excited because the Kids Choice Awards last year wasn't that cool, but I'm looking for the ones this year.
Who was the host?
Nickelodeon.
DJ Khaled.
DJ Khaled. Who would have? I thought it was gonna be so cool, but
Sinel.
John Cena.
Hey, my fellow colleague. Really?
Yeah, and I think this year
Let's
is gonna
not
be good.
let's not be so judgy.
And also because the new Henry Danger
Episode.
season finale is coming
We're
up.
talking about
Oh, and we have to remember that the UCAN news has been booming, right, guys?
You are such a Herbert.
And the UCAN social media has been booming as well.
Yes,
We have things, we have all kinds of
Visit
stuff.
our website.
No,
We need Facebook.
we need merchandise.
Oh,
Very-
and visit our YouTube channel or which this is.
Yeah, follow us on
Just
Insta.
Facebook.
Some of
Just
us,
Facebook.
on Facebook.
Guys, you're messing it up.
It's 2019.
We haven't
For
posted
local
anything
we're not talking about. Anyway, guys.
I hope my 2020 ends in a good year because a lot of people that I know died last year. Some
Oh,
people-
that's sad.
Please,
But we gotta remember, the people were born last year too, guys. Like my cousin.
Yeah, and my baby brother was born last year too. in
So
March.
we have to
And
remember
mine.
the good times. Look forward to the future.
Forget the past and move forward.
As Elsa always said, the past is in the past.
Guys,
Let it
I
go.
think we should all say we should all have a quiet 2 seconds to remember the people that left us.
But before I say that, everyone, I'm going to advise you to follow us and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And by the way, for my own personal note, watch the KCA Awards this year, March 20 something, and watch the Henry
Anyway,
Danger
let's
season
take 5
finale.
seconds to
To
remember
please me.
the 2019 memories and those who went and in our better life now. Okay. Anyway,
Okay, so
thank you.
now
Because it's so bad.
I hope you had a great episode. Don't. For our last topic. Is that purified?
Oh my
Oh
God!
God.
You are so
For our
terrible.
last topic, after the highlight, we would like to talk about the forever ongoing Julie of the Wolves.
Oh my God.
So, I would like you to guys to address how you think Julie's story would have changed if it were set in modern times.
Oh, okay. I think that there's so many parts in the book, but if it was set in modern times, would she still be in Alaska? For sure.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Now, like, address where she would have gotten lost, how her parents would have been, that kind of stuff.
I think she would have gotten lost, like maybe if she lived, let's say, in the US. Maybe she would have gotten lost like in a forest or something, and then met a bunch of wild animals. And maybe her
If
husband
not-
should have probably not even had a reason to go into the forest. Because she shouldn't have been married, she was just 13.
Yeah.
I think she'll probably get lost in Singapore.
Yes, what?
What? Anyway, she would be lost in Singapore. Why? I know.
Jane don't want that.
Stop. So because Singapore is more of this modern country and it's more of an advanced country where technology and stuff are very advancing. Sorry. So she wouldn't have a reason to run away, and she wouldn't have a reason to marry. So I think she would just have spend life,
No reason to fish.
Yeah, no.
You just go to the store and buy some fish.
Yeah, grocery shopping.
No need to. The dad
No
never
need to
died.
hunt. Just go and
Her
buy
dad
some
never
lamb
died.
chops.
Okay, the dad will get lost.
I think he would.
Sailing.
It's very possible that he could have, because since if we were following the story very directly, she might get lost in a place like, for example, if she got lost in New York and she couldn't find her way home, her dad might also get lost or be stolen or something like that. Or for example, if she was Mexican, for example, they might be going from Mexico to the US, and they might have come along problems along the way, the same problems Julie's facing, but just in a different context.
Yeah, and I think in different cultures it works in different ways. Like for some Arabs today, she would have probably still been married, considering possibilities in life.
It just
And
depends on someone's life.
Depends on culture, the way you look at things, where she would have been, different countries.
The question
different things
is
have
difficult to answer. That's a very difficult question that deserves to be, thought of for some time, because it's hard to relate to Alaska and where it is comparing it to another country. So some things just have to happen. You never know. You might change the location maybe to South Africa, but the same thing happens there. You can change the thing to an Arabian country or something like that, and it still happens. It just depends on someone's life and how it's gonna turn out,
Yeah, but different cultures have different ways of doing things. So that's for you to think about.
Yeah, that's a question for you to think about. By the way, it would be good if you read the book. It's a good book.
Interesting book. Julie of the
Yeah.
Wolves by Jean Craighead.
Yeah. Anyway, I'd like to thank all of you for your lovely contribution to the YouTube
and time.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
and for your time, for your very, very
Precious.
important, precious time,
Yeah.
madams and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Thank you
You chat.
for watching the UChat.
And
I chat.
wait.
You chat, we all chat in the UChat.
And thank you, Mr. Cameraman, for your great. I did
Are you
it.
sure?
Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make that red subscribe button gray. Make it say subscribe. Drop a like down below if you thought any of these topics were interesting.
And if you comment,
Hit the notification button for new episodes.
Yeah.
So then you would have just said,
And if
We're
you
still
see,
recording!
and if you see any of us on social media, don't be scared to follow.
and right, because we don't bite, we shower twice a day. We don't think people.
And if you're haters, don't comment.
Yeah.
No, but I would
Disable
love to
comments.
And I just want to say something, Kim K. I'm coming for you.
What reason?
see. She is not
Okay,
serious
teacher,
about
is it
that.
fine?
Welcome to the
It's
new
please
chat.
be sure to like and subscribe. And I was trying to help you, but apparently
I
some people
ruined
don't
You
know.
ruined it!
You
Notification bell.
I ruined.
Hey, because you guys say welcome back to the new chat.
Welcome back to the
I
new
waste my time
chat.
on.
Follow me
What?
on Instagram.
Nasty.
Follow her on
Oh, wait.
Instagram
You chat.
if you want. Follow them. It would be amazing if you follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter,
I don't want to.
Superman out of here!
Snapchat. Don't forget.
Come back.